Hello everyone, let's dig into the year 1979, top 15 favorites, top 15 favorite albums. Let's start off with number 15, Nick Lowe's Labor of Lust. This is Nick's second album. This is the USA version, chock full of just great power pop. Cool to Be Kind was the big hit, but there's tons of other great ones. Cracking Up, Big Kick, Plain Scrap, Switchboard Susan, Dose of You Without You, Born Fighter, a flawless album from 1979. Nick Lowe's Labor of Lust coming in at number 15. Coming in at number 14 is The Dream Police by Cheap Trick. Coming after the heels of the success of Live at Budokan. This is the first studio album after that album. So they're riding high at this point. Of course, you have the title track, Gonna Raise Hell, Need Your Love, I Know What I Want. All got a lot of great airplay. Probably not my favorite Cheap Trick album. I think my favorite is probably Heaven and Night, but still a tour de force of great power pop, great rock and roll. And this was a very successful album. 1979's The Dream Police from Cheap Trick coming in at number 14 on albums of 1979. Coming in at number 13 is the infamous Damn the Torpedoes from Tom Petty. This was Petty's breakout album in 1979. The first two were moderate successes. You're Gonna Get It and the first one. But this one here, this one was a huge monumental success. Don't Do Me Like That, Refugee. I mean, all these songs are kind of staples now on FM radio. Here Comes My Girl, Even the Losers. My absolute favorite, though, on this album is Shadow of a Doubt. It got a little airplay back in the day, but you don't really hear it much anymore. But just a killer rocker. Power pop again. Great tune. And I really prefer Petty's early stuff. You know, the first four albums. Heart Promise is probably the last one I really dug. But this is definitely a 4.5, 5-star record here. And this is coming in at number 13, Tom Petty's Damn the Torpedoes from 1979. Coming in at number 12 is probably my favorite Talking Heads album, Fear of Music. Always love that cover there. I played this album a lot back in the early 80s. And I'll tell you, Paper, I got to put on my glasses for this. Hold on one sec here. All right, here we go. Drugs is great. Cities, Animals. There's one, Paper. I love Paper. Memories Can't Wait. Of course, Life During Wartime, a great K-Rock hit. And I always loved Heaven. You know, Heaven is a place where nothing ever happens. And Mind. I think that's the second track on side one. Great album from Talking Heads. Their third album, Fear of Music. Coming in at number 11 is the second to last album Bob Marley would release in his lifetime. The album Survival. Like most Marley albums, chock full of great songs. Zimbabwe is fantastic. Africa Unite. Ride Natty Ride. One Drop is one of my favorites. So Much Trouble. I think they tried to push the tune Wake Up and Live. It has kind of like a disco kind of vibe to it, but never really heard it on the radio. But there's so many other great songs. A definite must-have for anybody who wants the complete Marley collection. The light's going nuts here. This is coming in at number 11, Bob Marley's Survival from 1979. And of course, I got to put a little Kinks in here. Number 10. This is more of kind of a nostalgia favorite from 79. Reminds me of being 14 years old and just going into 9th grade and just, I don't know. It's not a Kinks album I listen to very much anymore. I did at that time. But, I mean, like most Kinks albums, there's always a good handful of great tunes. Catch Me Now I'm Falling, Pressure, the title track. I love In a Space. Little Bit of Emotion is a great ballad. We got A Gallon of Gas. And it ends with Moving Pictures. So that is coming in at number 10, the Kinks' Low Budget. Coming in at number 9 is, you know, normally I don't feature compilations or hits. albums, but I had to feature this one because it's just so phenomenal. The Buzzcocks, Singles Going Steady. This is all their singles. I think from 77 to 79, correct me if I'm wrong. Of course, Orgasm Addict, What Do I Got, I Don't Mind, Love You More, Ever Fallen in Love, Promises, Everybody's Happy Nowadays, Harmony in My Head. And just every tune is fantastic. It almost plays like a real album, kind of like Hatful of Hollow by the Smiths. One tune I really like, and it's one of my favorites, always has been, is Why Can't I Touch It? With that kind of like really groove bass part and kind of a melody, like the chorus, I guess, has a kind of a melody that reminds me of The Inner Light by the Beatles. Maybe that's why it really struck me, but fantastic album, fantastic band. Pete Shelley's a great songwriter. And this is coming in at number 9, the Buzzcocks, Singles Going Steady. Coming in at number 8 is the third album from XTC, Drums and Wires. This is the first album with Dave Gregory. The first 2 albums had Barry Andrews, who was playing kind of this kind of oddball keyboard. It didn't really work. This I really consider more like the first real XTC record with the classic lineup. Colin Moulding, Andy Partridge, Dave Gregory, and Terry Chambers. So many great songs on here. The first time I ever heard this album, or any song off this album, was Making Plans for Nigel. I heard it on K-Rock. I didn't know who it was, but it was so infectious I had to go out and get the single. I still have the single somewhere, but that's just one of many, many great tunes. Both Colin Moulding and Andy Partridge are really delivering on this album, coming into their own here. Life Begins at the Hop, that's a good Colin Moulding tune. Of course, Making Plans for Nigel. I love 10 Feet Tall, and then you've got a lot of good Andy Partridge tunes, like When You're Near Me, I Have Difficulty, Reel by Reel, Complicated Game, Scissor Man. There's a couple of tunes I really don't dig that much, but I'd say 3/4 of this album I love. And then, of course, they would really get heavy with Black Sea in the next year in 1980. But a fine album here. Coming in at number 8 on my 1979 list, XTC's Drums and Wires. Coming in at number 7 is my favorite Graham Parker record, Squeezing Out Sparks. This is a flawless record. Great record, great artist. Oh, God. Local Girls was kind of a hit on the alternative station. Saturday Night is Dead. You have a very compassionate song dealing with abortion called, what it is. What is it? Let's see here. Let's see. Local Girls, when you Can't Be Too Strong. Such great lyrics, such heartfelt vocals from Graham. But every tune on here is great. Waiting for the UFOs. Great tune. And then Love Gets You Twisted. You Can't Be Too Strong, of course. Nobody Hurts You. Discovering Japan. This is a must for any album collection. A 5-star record here. Coming in from 1979. Graham Parker and the Rumor. Number 7, Squeezing Out Sparks. Coming in at number 6 is my favorite jam record, Setting Suns. This is the first jam record I ever bought, and then I kind of worked my way backwards and forwards. But so many great songs. What's cool about this U.S. version is they have Saturday's Kids, which was just a single in Britain, but they tagged it onto the U.S. version here. So many great songs: Eaton Rifles, Girl on the Phone, Wasteland. Little Toy Soldiers, is that what it's called? Little Girl Soldiers. Hold on, let me get my glasses here. We got to get this correct here. Let's see here. Little Boy Soldiers and Wasteland, ending side 2 on this particular version. A great, great album. The only song I really don't dig on here is Heat Wave. It just doesn't belong on here, but every other song is a great Paul Weller masterpiece. And this is coming in at number 6, The Jam, Setting Suns. Coming in at number 5 is Joe Jackson's Look Sharp. This is kind of an oddball version here. It's a 2-record set with an open cover, or a flip cover here. See that? A great flawless record. Again, it has Is She Really Going Out With Him? But every tune is great. Throw It Away, Baby Stick Around, Pretty Girls, Look Sharp, Fools in Love. And I gotta go tie with both of these albums. These are awesome. I'm the Man came out. This came out early January. I think it was released January 1st, 79. And this came out later in the year. And this is I'm the Man is just as good. So it's kind of a double number number 5 on my list here. But one of my favorite Joe Jackson songs is It's Different for Girls, Geraldine and John, On Your Radio, Get That Girl, fantastic stuff. So I'm going to put I'm the Man and Look Sharp at number 5 because they're just so fantastic and they came out the same year. So here you go on that. Number 4 is a killer rock album from start to finish. Always love this album and love this band lineup of AC/DC with Bon Scott. AC/DC's Highway to Hell. I think one of their most killer songs of all time is Walk All Over You, track 3 on side 1. I love Beating Around the Bush as well, that great riff. But it really is just every tune rocks. And then it ends with Night Prowler. Of course, it has some history there with the Night Stalker back in the mid-'80s. But that was kind of strange and creepy. But Love Hungry Men, Get It Hot, Girls Got Rhythm, Touch Too Much, a classic hard rock album. The best album, in my opinion, that they did with Bon Scott. And personally, the best AC/DC album. I don't think they ever topped this, even Back in Black. As good as it is, I don't think it could touch this album. So this is coming in at number 4, AC/DC's Highway to Hell. Coming in at number 3 is one of my favorite Neil Young albums, Rust Never Sleeps. The first side is all acoustic. Second side is all electric. One of my absolute favorite Neil Young songs is Powderfinger, and I have to say that solo on Powderfinger is probably not only one of my favorite Neil Young solos, but favorite guitar solos of all time. Just full of emotion and power and melody. Also, Sedan Delivery, Welfare Mothers, and Hey Hey My ending side 2. But then side 1 has some beautiful songs. Sail Away, Pocahontas, Ride My Llama, Thrasher, and then Hey Hey My again, the acoustic. A perfect album from Neil Young, very satisfying from start to finish. The movie also is just 5-star. If you've never seen it, check that out. And that was filmed in '78, I think, at the Cow Palace. Coming in at number 3, Rust Never Sleeps by Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Now, number 2 and number 1 really are interchangeable. I love these albums to death. I've played them to death. Still do. They still hold up really well. I guess right now I'm going to go with number 2 is Armed Forces by Elvis Costello. This was the first album I ever bought by Costello, and I still think it's probably my favorite. Even though I love This Year's Model and My Aim Is True, there's something about this album. Accidents Will Happen, one of the great start-off songs of all time. Senior Service, Oliver's Army, Big Boys, Green Shirt, Party Girl, and that's just on side 1. And then on side 2, you've got Goon Squad, Busy Bodies. I mean, it's just an absolute 5-star album, ending with What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. This is Elvis Costello at an early peak. I wish I had seen him back in this era, but I did not. But this is coming in at number 2, Elvis Costello's Armed Forces from 1979. And number 1 is The Clash's London Calling, an album I played to death. I still do occasionally. This is probably one of the greatest double albums of all time, as there's no filler in my opinion. I really love side 2. I love Spanish Bombs, The Right Profile, Lost in the Supermarket, Clamp Down Rocks, The Guns of Brixton by Paul Simonon. And then it's just all good. What can you say? It's all awesome. Rangamboyo on side 3, Death or Glory, The Card Sheet. And then this one, I don't know, this version, this is a promo copy, see? And they didn't include, I think a lot of the copies back then didn't include Train in Vain, which comes after Revolution Rock. But incredible stuff. Rudy Can't Fail is one of my favorites on the album. Of course, an album that should be in any collection. The London Calling album by The Clash, coming in at number 1. And I do have 5 honorable mentions. I don't really listen to these albums a whole lot, but I do appreciate them still. The Second Police album, Regatta de Blanc. Love this album. Van Halen 2. I'm a big fan of the David Lee Roth period. I didn't like the Sammy Hagar period, but the Roth stuff is very entertaining. I like David Bowie's Berlin trilogy, but this is my least favorite of them, Lodger. I think it's one that you have to really listen to and get into slowly. I'm still trying to get into it. There are great parts to it that I love, but I love Lowe and Heroes better than this, but still a great album. And Blondie's Eat to the Beat. And here's an album I hadn't listened to probably before 25 years, and then one day I just put on the headphones and listened to it in its entirety, the Tusk album. And it's no rumors, but I think it's good for that reason. It's experimental, but not like, you know, the White Album or anything. But there's just some really great Lindsey Buckingham tracks on here. I highly suggest, if you have not gotten into this record, listen to it in parts, maybe side 1 and 2 one night, and then side 3 and 4 another night. But there's some really great Lindsey Buckingham and Christy McVie songs on here that never get any attention. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching my 1979 top 15 list. What are your favorites from 79? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Take care, bye.